All right, guys, welcome back to Undisputed Interviews. Today's guest is UFC featherweight contender Ricardo Ramos. How are you today?
Pretty good, my brother. Thanks for asking. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir. My first question for you today is, how did you discover MMA in the UFC, and like what made you realize that you wanted to be a professional fighter?
So I started when I was 14 years old. My father was a taxi driver, and one day he just came at home and said, "Hey, do you want to train jujitsu? I have a friend. He said you can train in his gym for free if you want." And then I say, "Oh, fuck yeah, let's do it." So
Yeah, yeah,
I after this day I start training and never stop anymore. And I think in my first year of training I already knew I was going to be a MMA fighter. I was already saying to my friends like, oh, I'm gonna be a professional fighter one day, maybe UFC fighter. And dreams become true. So living the dream right now. But when it started, it was really crazy because it's pretty hard to get in the UFC for
yeah.
the place in the gym that I started with, which was a very small gym. And I think yeah, that was a far dream for me at this point of my career.
I mean, what's when you started jujitsu? What was your favorite? Did you have like a favorite submission? Like, did you have like a submission like you always did in the training
Yeah,
room that you were like?
the favorite submission I like it is here naked choke and triangle leg triangle choke,
Yeah,
Sankaku
yeah,
Jime. Both are my favorite submissions. My master is one of the best. My master, he passed out last year, but he always loved to show Sankaku Jime, the leg triangle choke,
yeah.
which is one of my favorite. And his technique was very, very good. So I have some submissions on MMA with triangle choke, but
Yeah.
especially in jiu-jitsu, I used to just pull guard and do some triangles. That was my favorite technique to submit in
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Is that when you're in the fight, like in a fight, are you actively on the bottom? Are you actively looking for the triangle, or do you just like if I see it, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna try to force it?
Yeah, I always like to. MMA is different, right? Like when I
Hmm.
used to compete jiu-jitsu, I always had this plan to pull guard and go to the triangle. But in MMA, pull guard is not a good choice. I feel like because you get ground and pound. So I had
Yeah,
to change my game to do my like a different jiu-jitsu in MMA. And also I was evolving my striking game on my stand-up game. So now I feel like I feel more comfortable on like when I go to top position or get the back of my opponent. That's what I'm looking for on the fight. Like I always go to the back or top position. So Sankaku Jime, the triangle choke with my legs, usually happens with me when I'm with my back on the ground. So
yeah,
I don't like to be with my back on the ground. So it's kind of like harder for now to find the triangle. But if I had the chance to get the triangle choke on the top, I'll be looking for that for sure.
yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of people try to. I mean, a guillotine is a big one. A lot of people go for guillotines, but it's
Mhm.
also I feel like you run a higher risk of getting knocked out with ground and pound instead of you
Yeah, for
can't like
sure.
how in jujitsu you can't get hit, but in MMA it's
Exactly.
a lot different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but my next question for you is you train at Team Alpha Male, and
Hmm.
I want to know how being able to train around fighters such as Josh Emmett, Cody Garbrandt, Uriah Faber, Mike Malott, and a lot of those other guys. How does that impact your overall MMA game?
Yeah, well, so when I first came on Team Alpha Male, I think that it was like 2021, no, maybe 2019, if I'm not wrong, but it was a long time ago. The first guy who I met from Team Alpha Male was Alexander Munoz. And he's a very good wrestler. And I met him. We became friends, and then he moved from Texas to Team Alpha Male, and I used to train with him sometimes just to get some wrestling. He spent some time in Brazil helping me, and then he moved to California in Sacramento to training Team Alpha Male, and I start doing training camps in Team Alpha Male with
Mhm.
him and all the team. So since I start there, it's always amazing because I start watching guys that I used to only see on TV, like Uriah Faber, all these guys that you said, Josh Emmett, Elkins, Andre Fili, all these guys. They're amazing fighters, and I learned a lot from them. So Team Alpha Male is one of the best gyms in the world. And for me, especially the wrestling is the thing that I learned the most, because in Brazil we don't have a lot of wrestling. So
Mhm.
wrestling was the main thing that I was looking to improve on my game. And I feel like I learned a lot of new tricks of wrestling, even jiu-jitsu game, striking, everything. And also to see all these guys who are top fighters
Yeah.
and just learn with them. It made me grow a lot as a fighter.
Yeah. I mean, especially with people like your favorite, they've been doing the sport for so long. I mean, he
Yeah,
fought even Piotr Jan. He's fought the best of best. So I feel like him being able to transition into a coach is better for a lot of fighters and for himself
for sure.
because now he can train with the newer generation.
Exactly. Yeah, he always teach us after practice. He always give us a speech, like he talks about his experience, everything he has, like he had like as a experience. He tried to give us to just give us after practice and make us understand, like, and get a better paths for our careers. So it's really good to have this guy on our back, helping us and all the team.
Yeah.
As I say, like, I'm not full time in Team Alpha Male. I come back and forth to Brazil
Yeah.
and Alpha Male. So now I'm in Brazil, spend time in my team, Brazil, which is a good team too. We have a small gym, but we work together since my first day training jiu-jitsu. So these are the guys that helped me since the beginning. And
Yeah.
also Team Alpha Male is the team that gave me a lot of support and helped me growing on my career, get more professional. So
Yeah.
I have these two backgrounds that helped me in my journey. So always thankful for all these guys.
Yeah, like I'm an amateur boxer, but I've been wanting to
Mhm.
start maybe like no, I don't know, fight MMA, but learn jujitsu and wrestling.
Yeah.
And there's not really a gym. I live in Tampa. There's not really a gym for
Oh,
that. Yeah.
nice.
So I mean, when I look at MMA gyms like Team Alpha Male, American Top Team, aka, I feel like I want to go train it. I want to see what
Uh-huh.
MMA is like too.
Yeah, brother. Like, if you have a dream, if you have the feeling that you wanna try this, just go. You're gonna figure out the path. You're gonna figure
Yeah.
out what to do to get there. The first thing is you have the feeling, you have the will to pursue this dream.
Yeah.
And then everything will come. My friend, a really good friend of me, always tell me, like, if you do the first step, God will put the ground for you to step in. So god,
Yeah.
god will always help you to pursue your dreams. So after that, everything, like, when I'm feeling like lost, like, oh fuck, what I should do. I just trust the way, trust the journey, trust God, and just keep going, make it the best decisions for myself, and never, like, even in the worst times of my career, I always feel like I would be the champion, you know. I will
Yeah.
get there. Something inside my heart, inside my mind always tells me like I'm born for this. This is my journey in this planet, you know.
Yeah.
That's nothing in this world that I should do with different than being an MMA fighter and hustling for my dream. So if you have the dream, just keep going, my
Go
brother. Do
after it.
whatever your heart tells you to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Most.
Um, my next question for you is: you fought at UFC 305 against Josh Kulabau. What was the biggest like takeaway from the fight? What was the biggest
Mhm.
thing that you learned in the fight itself?
Yeah, that was a really hard fight, really close fight, you know. When I came in Australia, I was like 2 weeks before the fight week, so that's when I got there, and
Hmm.
so I spent a lot of time in Australia. There was a really good opportunity. I think I never got so early in a country to fight in UFC like I did on Australia, but everyone told me like it was going to be a crazy um time zone and everything. So I tried to do the best choice to get healthier on the fight, you know. But
Yeah.
before the fight I was with a lot of injuries, like even my calf my shin was already hurt. So in the fight he hit me sometimes on my shin. I felt like in the first kick he throw on the fight on my calf, I was already hurt, you know. So that was
Yeah.
a really good experience to test myself, to test my heart, my will of win, you know, because
Yeah.
at some moments I was hurt and I was like, fuck, this guy is like giving me bad times and but I decided to win, to keep fighting, to give my best, even hurt in the fight, you know. And sometimes you have the good way, just go to the fight and knock people out, like 30 seconds knockout, 30 seconds submission, everything is perfect. But sometimes it's both of you, the fighters want to get the win.
Yeah.
Both want to give the best to get the win, and I felt like this fight was a fight like that. Both want to win. I was coming from the loss, and he was coming from loss too. So that was a really hard fight. We put everything we had on the fight, and thank God I got the win. And can't wait to go to the next one because now I'm healthier. I solved
Hmm.
all my injuries that I was uh when I got in this fight, and yeah, that's the learning from this. I feel like I test myself, like my will and my heart, you know, to get the win. And that was a really good feeling after the fight, you know, to know that I give my best to get the win.
Yeah. Like when that third round had ended, did you feel like you won the fight, or were you like, oh, they
To be
might they?
honest, I knew I I was better on the first round, and I
Uh
knew
huh.
I lost the second round, you know.
Yeah.
And on the third round, my coach said me, bro, if you want to get the win, you have to give your best on this round. You have to go to the in fight and doesn't matter. Just go to the fight, you know. No more technique, no more strategy. Just go there and you know bring help for him. And I try to look for the fight to get the to throw punches and try to put him on the ground. And I feel like the last takedown and then I got his back, and this is the movement that make me win this fight.
Secure the
So
round.
yeah, to secure the round exactly. So but just as I said, like I said, it could be either way for Hina for me. But I feel like the judge saw the last round and decided to give the fight for me. And I feel like if it was going to either way, it was okay for us because we both had really good rounds. I had a really good round on the first, and he had a really good round on the second one. And the
Mm-hmm.
third one was the last one to see who wins. And I feel like I secured the round with the last round. So I secured the win with the last round. So it was really good fight, really good experience against Kulibal.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a super high level fight, and I feel like that your fight against Kubao is overlooked because you had people like Dan
Hmm.
Hooker, Israel Adesanya,
Yeah, yeah,
Steve
exactly.
Arceg. You had those people on the card, which everybody was so focused on they weren't looking at
Hmm.
your fight or looking at the other fights on the card.
Yeah, for sure. And uh, it's for sure like Adesanya and all these guys. They are the best in the world, and of course they will bring more attention to their fight. But for me, it's a pleasure to be on the same card in Australia, which is always like full of people. And even if I did like I did the first round, the first fight of the card, I would be happy because for me it's a historical card, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was part of something big,
Yeah,
and
hundred
one day I
percent.
will be doing the main event, you know. So
Yeah.
it's just enjoying the journey, and one day I will get on the main card for sure.
Do you
And then people will be saying, "Oh, I was on Ricardo Ramos card."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's everybody's goal, to headline a fight
Yeah,
night, headline a a pay-per-view, whatever it may be.
yeah, exactly.
Um, do you have, you said that that the injuries are dealt with and taken care of. Do you have a certain time frame or a certain opponent that you want to fight next?
Yeah, man. To be honest, I know I'm in a position that I cannot choose a fight, you know. But someone that I always like to fight was Alex Caceres. He's one of the guys
Okay.
that I always want to fight, you know. Even Cub Swanson or Alex Caceres would be a good choice for me because I always watch these guys before I got in the UFC, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they are like good fighters, and at this moment of my career would be a good fight, you know, would be a fight that the fans would like to watch, you know,
Yeah.
especially with Alex Caceres, which I feel like we have some similarities on our fight game, you know. So it would be an interesting fight, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to make happen. So Alex Caceres would be number one, and then maybe Cub Swanson. But anyone, I never say no for a fight. I always accept any fight that they send me. I'm not the type of guy who is looking, you know, choosing fighters, picking fights. You know,
Yeah.
I I'm not this kind of guy. I just like to fight and give my best, whoever I have in my front. You know, so if they give me one of these guys, it's okay. If they don't, no problem too. I will train and give my best to get the win. And I feel like I'm in a different mode of my career, different mode of my personality. You know, I grew up a lot on the sport, and I feel like it's my time. You know,
Yeah.
I know I came from some losses. I know I had bad times on my career, but now I'm focused. I put my head on the right position, and I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm here, and I know I can get my dreams. You know, I can make my dreams come true. So it's all about time and opportunity, and I will be there one day on the top with my
Mm-hmm.
belt.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you said maybe Cub Swanson. He fights Billy Cortillo next weekend. What's your
Oh
prediction for
yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's an interesting fight. Oh, another guy that I would like to fight. He's fighting like next week too, or no, I think he fights tonight. It's Cron Gracie. Cron Gracie is
Oh,
a
him,
guy
yeah,
who,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because I really respect the Gracie family. I always enjoy to watch Rickson Gracie and all the Gracie family. So it would be an honor for me to fight against Cron Gracie, who is a guy who I really respect. You know, I know he had a bad performance on last fight, but
Yeah.
that doesn't matter for me. The fact that matters for me is he's a Gracie. He owns respect because of jiu-jitsu, you know, on his everything he does for jiu-jitsu and for the Grace family. So
Hmm.
it would be a really interesting fight for me just to because looking for my legacy would be a fight that I would enjoy to have on my name, you know. Oh, I fought from Gracie. I fought at Gracie, you know. So would be a honor for me too. But Cub Swanson, he's a good fighter. Who is fighting with
Billy
the
Cortello.
Billy Cortella? Oh, he's a good fighter too. Um, I will pick Billy Cortella for this one, but yeah, let's see what happens, you know. But I would like to fight Cub Swanson
Yeah. I mean,
or either
obviously you
Billy
said,
Cortella.
yeah, you obviously said you want to fight Kron Gracie. Do you feel even after his like, even though he has the Gracie name, his last
Mm-hmm.
performance against Jourdain wasn't good. Do you
Yeah,
feel he deserves a top 15 fight with Bryce Mitchell? Do you feel he deserves it over people like
bro.
Joe Anderson
I
Brito?
I don't know why they closed this fight, but I feel
Yeah.
like if there is a fight for Kron Gracie that would be a good match, would be Bryce Mitchell because he Bryce Mitchell is always looking for jiu-jitsu. I know he has some striking, you know,
Hmm.
but he just Bryce Mitchell got knocked out by Ilia Topuria, right?
Last
Ilia Top
December?
yeah. No,
No,
Bryce
Emmett.
Mitchell.
He got knocked out by
He-
Emmett.
exactly by Josh Emmett. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The crazy knockout.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I had Ilia on my head, but sorry.
Yeah, he did. He did
Uh,
fight Ilya too. Yeah,
exactly. So Bryce Mitchell is coming back from a crazy knockout.
yeah.
He that was one of the most aggressive knockouts I ever seen on UFC. Crazy
Same.
shit. And so it's probably a good fight for him. It's a jiu-jitsu fighter. Kron Grace is not good in striking, not really good on striking. So it's a good fight for Bryce Mitchell to not get really hard hits on his head, you know, and
Yeah,
just come back more confidence. But also for Kron Gracie, it's a good fight because Bryce Mitchell's like to go to the ground, like to scramble with the guys and get submissions. So I feel like it's a good match for both
yeah,
to for Kron to try to get some jiu-jitsu ground game, you know, and for Bryce Mitchell to maybe defend the takedowns and strike against Kron, you know. So feels like a good matchup for both. But of course, Bryce Mitchell just lost for Josh Emmett, which will they are top fighters. They are ranked, right? But
hmm,
I feel like UFC was trying to bring Bryce Mitchell back after a crazy knockout, and for Kron Gracie, it's probably his chance to show he to prove something, you know. So let's see. I like the fight. I like the matchup. I feels like it's the best matchup for Kron Gracie, and good matchup for Bryce Mitchell to come back. So we'll see what happens, but I feel like Bryce Mitchell will get this fight and not try to go to the ground, but we never know.
yeah. I mean, like when they first announced it, I was like, "What?" I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, he hasn't fought. I was confused because I was like, Bryce Mitchell's like number 13. Why is he fighting
Yeah, yeah.
a dude that hasn't won in years? But
Yeah,
now I
but
feel like,
probably they put this fight just because Bryce Mitchell, you know, just to warm up him again, you know, just to
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah,
him
like a
come
layup.
back, you know. But I don't know. He's a ranked fighter. He should be fighting against ranked opponents. But
Hmm.
I don't know how is the negotiation with him and everything. So it's something that only UFC can explain. But looks like a good fight for him, for Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
I would say if I bet on this fight, I would bet on Bryce Mitchell for maybe points, third round by points. I don't know if he can knock out Kron Gracie, but I would say he can get this fight by points. I don't know. Just just feel like he gonna repeat the same strategy as uh the last guy Kron Gracie fought. He will
Jourdain.
probably not accept the ground game. Yeah.
Yeah. What is your opinion on Charles Jourdain moving down to 135? What did you think of his performance at UFC Edmond?
Bro, I don't know why he did that. He's not. I fought him. He got me by guillotine, and I don't know why he did that. He
Uh-huh.
felt he's a really big dude. But
Yeah.
I feel like he gonna lose a little bit of strength, a little bit of uh endurance cardio. But it's something that him and his team probably uh, had a really good conversation and made this choice together,
Yeah.
because I don't feel like he's like weak for 145. I don't understand why he did that, but he was a hard opponent for 145, and it got me by surprise when I saw him fighting on 135. I don't know if he's gonna keep doing that, but I was on 135, and it was really really hard for me to make 135,
Yeah.
and it's probably really hard for him too. So let's see how long he can keep that, because we are getting older, and as we get older it's harder to make weight, it's harder to cut weight. So I don't know if even for Jose Aldo also did the same way. He decided to move down to 135 on
Yeah.
on the end of his career. But I don't know. I feel like it's more important about my healthy, how I feel my body and everything, how I end my career is important. But how I end my career and my healthy after I finish my career, is the
Yeah.
most important. If I can be on this sport and stay healthy, that's the most important for me, because my life, my healthy is more important than my career. I want to be alive after my career. I want to tell my grandkids that I used to beat people and strike people. Submit people. I don't want to
Yeah.
die like young. So, but also I'm a guy that I give everything to the sport. Like since my 14 years old, I'm giving my life to the sport. I know something,
Hmm.
like my health is already like uh sport is not health at all for sure, but we need to protect ourselves as most as we can, So I don't know if
Yeah.
move down to 135 is a good idea for fighters who always fought for 145.
What? Yeah. I mean, I feel like the sport can definitely be unhealthy at times. Like for example, the thing that happened to Bryce Mitchell.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks when that stuff happens, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's just like how he took a year off. That's good because now
Yeah, that's really
he's
good.
recovered. And like some people like Joshua Van who got knocked out in July and then fought again in September. It just doesn't seem good.
Yeah,
It seems like you're not like obviously all fighters that fight are kind of obsessed with the sport, but it's like you're trying to make so much money that you're gonna sacrifice yourself. You know?
for sure, brother. Yeah, for sure. It's I don't know. Like everyone is different and thinks different, but I feel like you can be healthy and achieve good goals on your career,
Hmm.
I feel like I think my camera freeze a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's
it froze.
Yeah, frozen. So I
There you
back.
go.
So yeah, I feel like you can be healthier on this. Sometimes I feel like we need to be smart, not really accept everything, every challenge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's up to, it's about everyone. Everyone's different, so everyone has a different opinion, and each one should do whatever they want with their lives. So for my life, I prefer to be healthy. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like that's just the overall you should, but like some
Yeah.
people are like fight, 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 fight. That when
Yeah.
they get to the age of Nate Diaz or when they get to the age of
Exactly.
Aldo, it's just you're not gonna be the same.
Yeah. It's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, but my next question for you is what does it mean to you to help put Brazilian MMA on the map in modern MMA nowadays?
Well, for me, I see like a lot of young guys starting on the sport. Even on my city, my hometown, I have a lot of people who come to me and say, "Hey, I want to train with you. I want to train you. How can you give me advice and everything?" So it's really amazing for me because I came from a very poor neighborhood. My family was poor, and I could help my family. I could help friends to pursue their dreams to become MMA fighters. I have friends that came from the same neighbor than me, and now they live in the United States. They live for the fight. They train MMA. They are professional fighters. So I could make the difference,
Hmm.
on someone's life. And that's the most important for me because I could make the difference on my family's life. To now I have a daughter, I have a family, so I can make the difference with their in their lives. And also make the difference with people who are trying to get on the same level as UFC fighters
Yeah,
to make this a profession a work. So for me, it's a pleasure. It's as I said, it's a mission of God for me, and anywhere He sends me, I will be going. If God tells me, "Hey, go to this place," and that's the mission, I will be there. I will feel with my heart, and try to make the good things. So.
yeah,
I feel like I could bring a lot of motivation for the people around me and people on my city and even in Brazil too, to start pursuing the dream of being an MMA fighter. Not everyone will be like good on the school or good on other profession, other jobs.
hmm,
So even especially for people who come from a poor family, and everything. So we don't have a lot of options here. So fighting starts to be a great option for us because we already know how to fight since day one of life.
yeah,
So it's just something, it's on our blood, it's on our culture, and it's a easier way to change your life and change the life of the people you love.
yeah. Does it help inspire you? Does it help give you motivation when you see the young Brazilian fans come up to you or tag you on Instagram and be like just showing love, showing support, and like showing how
For
you
sure, man.
inspire them?
It's so I never really uh thought that I would be on this moment, like that people would send me message asking me like, "Hey bro, let's take a picture, or can you give me advice or whatever." No, I never thought that I would get on this point of my life.
Yeah.
And this is very crazy for me, and I really I accept this with a lot of honor because it's not something that everyone has the opportunity to have on his life, on your life. So
Hmm.
if God chose me to have this on my life, it's because it's important for Him, and I try to give my best. I always try to give good advices. I always try to show like a good way, a good path for their lives. And I try to motivate people to start training jujitsu, not only to become MMA fighters, but because jujitsu changed my life, and I know this is good. I know it's a good thing on your life. So I always motivate people to start training whatever they like to do, like if it's jujitsu, karate, Muay Thai, whatever. Just start training. It's gonna change your life for sure. boxing, every martial arts. I always try to tell people, hey, start training. This is gonna change your life in a way that you will feel the difference in couple years. You know, you're gonna be a different person for sure. If you never
Yeah,
train,
yeah,
you're gonna feel.
yeah. I feel like for me, boxing, like I've watched it, but I just sat there like, oh, this is cool. But
Yeah,
once you start doing it 5, 6 times a week, it's like you love it. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
brother.
I
No,
want to do this forever.
exactly. I always had street fights. I used to live in a very bad neighborhood, so every time I was coming back from the school or from the whatever, if I get on on my house like 8 p.m. like at night, people like I used to live in this place which has a lot of crackheads and homeless people, and they are trying to steal you all the time,
Yeah,
you know. So every time I tried to get on my house, it was a battle, you know, because people come to you and say, "Hey, what do you have on your bag? What do you have? Hey, give me something, bro. Hey, give me something, please, please, bro. Hey, playboy, hey, playboy, give me something, you know." So you have to keep the posture, you know. You cannot be
yeah,
like, oh, afraid. It's just like bullying. If you afraid, they're gonna grow, you know. But if you
yeah.
show like you're not, you don't fear, you're confident, they just step away, you know. But
Leave you alone.
jiu-jitsu gave me this confidence. Jiu-jitsu gave me, before I used to accept the fights. I don't care. But I was trying to protect myself, so I used to do crazy shit. You know, I didn't know how to read the situation. But after I started training jiu-jitsu, I started learning how to read the situation. Before the guys come to me, I was one step away already. You know, I was one step on the front. So jiu-jitsu gave me the feeling of fighting, you know. So I
Yeah,
started to understand when someone is walking to me, how I should act before they talk something. So if they are walking on the same of the same side of me, I just would be like feeling calm, not afraid, you know, and I would make the eye contact, you know. You're not afraid to make the eye contact, but if you're afraid to make the eye contact on the street, people will just make you feel like you know, afraid, and they will make you feel afraid, you know. So jiu-jitsu gave me the confidence to get
to
these
like read the
challenges,
energy.
yeah, to understand how to act on the situations, you know.
Yeah,
So it's something that I feel like not only on bad neighborhoods, you can do this on the on your job, you can do this on your life, you know.
yeah,
Not acting like aggressive, but just have the confidence, the calm, to the peace, to be, you know, confident to face the bad situations, you know.
yeah, 100%. Well,
Yeah.
that'll be all for today. I appreciate your
Oops.
time, man.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
you.
my brother. Yeah, I appreciate. I like the t-shirt, and
Thank you.
yeah, brother. And thanks so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice one.
You too, brother. Who's